Welcome to this video on the Security Manager. The SmartWorks suite of modules and all accompanying documentation is owned by Kearney SmartWorks and all rights are reserved. This training is confidential and provided under the conditions outlined in the NDA. Topics covered: organizing admin security access, admin security menus, organizing agent security access, and linking agent users to an agent account. Part 1. Organizing admin security access. Security needs to reflect the organization. SmartWorks security is very flexible, but it's very important that the security configuration is used to optimal effect in order to optimize the effectiveness of your organization and those of your partners. A diagram always helps. The admin security matrix. We'll be considering roles, permissions, consumer contracts and divisions, and utilities. Here's a step-by-step process to achieve this. Record all of the names of people, that's users, who will need access to the SmartWorks administration functions in one form or another. This may include people within your organization and partner organizations, revenue collection agent representatives, and even consumer representative bodies, but not the consumers themselves. Consider also the types of utilities that will be configured on a given site, and the people or users who will have access to that utility's data. The utility information is configured in the database. Roles. Consider what jobs those users perform and record each as a role. Note that a user may perform multiple roles and a role may have many users. Some of the roles may not even exist yet, therefore also consider roles you would like to have. Now avoid creating duplicate roles, different role names which actually accomplish the same activities. Don't create different roles based on which consumers are given user services. This will be achieved via divisions. And don't make too many roles at first. You can always add them as you need. Some examples are administrator, technician, help desk, bookkeeper, vendor or agent, contractor, technical support, building administrator. Once all the roles have been described, create a role hierarchy. The hierarchy should indicate which roles report to a given parent role. Note that a derived role cannot have permissions that the parent role doesn't already have. There's always one ultimate parent role, which is a system administrator role. Permissions represent the functions or activities that can be performed, and they're linked to roles. So in order to better facilitate the linking of permissions to a role, create a detailed description of the functions each role performs. The job functions have to be mapped to SmartWorks permissions, and some guidance will be required initially. Note that a role usually has many permissions, and a permission may be linked to many roles. And again, remember that the permissions available to a given role are always a subset of those of the parent role. Template roles and permissions can be used as a starting point. Divisions. A utility may need to group consumer contracts into separate divisions. There's two reasons for this. Segregation, to ensure that only certain admin users can view and manage those particular contracts for security reasons. And secondly, enablement. This allows the utility to provide access to some specific consumer representatives, such as body corporates, departments, and building administrators, in order to allow them to view their data and perform some basic functions. Divisions are often informally associated with one or more buildings for which a body corporate is responsible. Users can be associated with one or more divisions, irrespective of the role they fulfill. That's a very important thing. A division can be linked to many users. So note that these divisions are purposely linked to users and not roles because this facilitates less roles being developed. So now that admin security matrix diagram makes a little bit more sense. Start by creating the roles, link them to permissions, add the users to the roles, create the utilities, and think about how you want to split up your consumer contracts into divisions, and then link the users to the divisions. So moving now away from theory into practice. Part 2. Admin security menus. Logging on. The user must provide their username and password and select the login button. If the user belongs to more than one role, they'll be asked to select which role they wish to log on as. At the top right-hand corner of the screen is the Logged On Users drop-down menu as shown. The top part of the menu shows the roles that are assigned to the user. The logged on user can change their logged-in role by selecting a specific role. To change the logged on user's password, select the Change Password menu option. Select Log Off to close SmartWorks. A logged on user can change their password by first specifying the previous password and then entering the new password twice and clicking Save. If a user has forgotten their password, refer to the Reset Password slide later in this presentation. Configuring user security. If the logged on user has been authorized to perform security management, the user's security menu will be displayed as shown. Click on Divisions to manage divisions. Click on the roles to manage and edit roles and permissions, and click on Users to manage users and their associated roles, divisions, and utilities. Managing divisions. A list of divisions is shown. Enter optional search criteria to find the matching division names. Use the Add button to create a new division, and select the Edit button to change the name of a given division. When adding or editing a division, change the name of the division and click Save to record the changes. Manage roles. A list of roles is shown. Enter optional search criteria to find matching role names and then click Search. Use the Add button to create a new role. Select the Edit button to modify the attributes of a given role. Select the Copy button to copy the permissions of the selected role for a new role. Select the Delete icon to remove a role if no users are currently allocated to that role. Role permissions. Add or enter the role name and select the parent role from which this role inherits its permissions. This is only applicable to the security roles. The Manage Permissions for Role shows a list of available permissions on the left and the list of assigned permissions on the right. One or more roles can be selected in either list. Use the Add button to assign the selected permissions and use the Remove button to unassign the selected permissions, and then click Save to record the changes. Manage users. A list of users is shown. Enter the optional search criteria to find matching usernames and then click Search. Select the Edit button to modify the attributes of a given user. Use the Delete button to remove a user, they'll no longer be able to log on, of course, and use the Add button to create a new user. User attributes. Set the name of the user and the email address. Select the roles that the user is allowed to fulfill using the Add Remove buttons and the list of available or selected roles. Once again, multiple roles can be selected in the list. Select the consumer contract divisions that the user is able to view or manage using the Add Remove buttons. Once again, multiple divisions can be selected. And then also select the utilities that the user is able to view or manage using the Add Remove buttons as well. Again, multiple selection is allowed. Click Save to store the changes. Resetting a password. If a user has forgotten their password, an option to send password reset email will be displayed in the Manage User screen for the system administrator as shown. Check the email address is correct and check the option and click Save. The recipient will then receive an email with a link to change the password. When the user clicks on the link in the email, a web page to set the new password will be displayed as shown. Enter the new password twice, being sure to specify a password that meets the minimum requirements specified, then click Submit. If the password meets the requirements, a message will be displayed indicating that the new password has been changed, and a confirmation email sent to the user. Part 3. Organizing Agent Security Access. Agents are a little different. Revenue collection agents are also users, but they're a little different because agents have their own agent portal, which is actually a subset of the admin portal. An agent collects revenue on the utility's behalf into which upfront payments are made in order to subsequently allow the agent to collect revenue from consumers. Hence, an agent also has to have accounts for this purpose. And in addition, an agent may have one or more operators or vendors who collect revenue for the agent. These operators are also users that utilize the agent portal and are authorized to collect revenue on behalf of the agent. Create an agent manager role with suitable permissions for agents. Create the users for each agent manager representative and assign them to the agent manager role. Typically, agent manager can collect revenue for all utilities and divisions, but it can be selected as required. Then create an agent operator role with permissions to collect revenue and possibly dispense tokens if required. Create the users for each agent operator and assign them to the agent operator role. Note that the same role can be used for operators who work for different agents, very important. Typically, agent operators can collect revenue for all utilities and divisions, but again, that can be selected as required. Agent accounts. The agent manager is used to create an agent account and an agent revenue collection account for each agent. This ensures that all financial activities made by these individuals will be associated with this agent's account. A picture tells 1,000 words. The agent matrix. Create the roles agent manager role and agent operator role. Note that the same roles can be used across all your agents, and link them to permissions. Create agent accounts for each agent and then link the users to each particular agent account. Part 4 briefly mentions how those users can be linked to an agent account. The configuration of agent accounts is discussed in the Agent Manager module, but uses the Manage Agents menu. The agent users are associated with the agent account via the drop-down list as shown. Multiple selection is facilitated. That brings us to the end of this video on the Security Manager. Thanks for watching.